Hey folks, it was a busy last 48 to 72 hours as we actually did see a significant tornado outbreak both Friday, March 14th and Saturday, March 15th. And looking back here at Friday's storm reports, in the blue, we have wind reports. Green is hail and the red are tornadoes. Notice a lot of those tornadoes were across the mid-Mississippi Valley, actually seeing 40 confirmed tornadoes from your Friday, March 14th, 2025. And we flip it over to Saturday, we saw some very strong tornadoes, even intense tornadoes at times across Dixie Alley from Mississippi all the way up into central Alabama, even a couple tornadoes there into Louisiana, Georgia, and South Carolina, totaling on Saturday now 39 confirmed tornadoes. So within the 2-day span, Friday, March 14th and Saturday, March 15th yesterday, we actually ended up with 79 confirmed tornadoes all told from those two significant tornado outbreaks. That is the latest. Now, the survey teams for the National Weather Service are going to continue to survey the damage across these two areas, the mid-Mississippi Valley region that was hit hard and the Dixie Alley, parts of the southeast, over the next few days. So these numbers could still rise as we go through this week. I do want you to know that. Let's look here at our weather forecast as we go through the rest of your Sunday. And notice we got a storm system out west. We have a storm system out east. And before we get into the weather forecast, if you are enjoying the weather so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel here as we have reliable, accurate weather information to give you guys here daily on the channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, thumbs up the video here. It helps to get this information out to more and more people, and share this video. Press the share button to share it with as many people as possible, friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. So going into the evening hours, we still have a low-end threat for severe weather across the eastern seaboard, really from New York State all the way down into the Carolinas, coastal Georgia there, and into Florida. There is a level 1 out of 5 in the dark green, that is a marginal risk, and a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, that is a slight risk of severe weather. Now, the hazards that we could still see are winds, so we could still see 60, perhaps 65 mile per hour wind gusts, especially in this yellow shaded area. We also do have a chance for tornadoes, especially in that brown shaded color. That is a 5% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile point of any given location in this brown shaded color from Florida all the way up into central and western New York. By the way, the green shaded color here, that is a 2% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile point of any location there. And then the hail threat is much lower in the brown here. That's a 5% chance of seeing the quarter-size hail or so. Really not seeing a lot of instability to work with this evening, so the hail threat is much lower than the other two threats of wind and tornadoes. So let's look at the radar, what it could at least look like as we go through the evening. We do have some lines of thunderstorms pushing across the northeast. And by the way, these are going to be efficient rainfall producers. Heavy rain across portions there of New York State down into Pennsylvania, including the Poconos there in eastern Pennsylvania. Getting into Delaware, parts of New Jersey and Maryland, seeing that as well. Thunderstorms will become a little bit more isolated to scattered further south, but they could also be strong. And just notice the fire hose of moisture up there toward New York City, Hartford, Boston, all the way up there into Concord, New Hampshire, Portland, Maine. These areas are going to see a lot of soaking rain overnight tonight and going into your Monday morning commute. So as you're heading off to work or school across the Northeast, especially the New England coast up there toward Maine as well, we could be needing the umbrellas as you head off to work or school, because it's going to be a wet one to start your Monday and the work week. A little bit of wet snow trying to mix in across northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and northwest Maine. May need some snow boots up in those areas as we go into Monday afternoon. Now, as far as the rainfall is concerned, coastal regions, that's the area that's going to see the most rain, 1 to 3 inches, an isolated 4-inch total for areas like Cape Cod, down there into Long Island, something we're keeping an eye on, and that travels all the way south into eastern North Carolina. So isolated flash flooding concerns are there as we go through the day on Monday. Now, another system moving in across the west does need attention here as well. We actually do have some snowfall across the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest, especially for Oregon into Northern California, Idaho, and western Montana here this evening. Pretty heavy snow there. Lower elevations, so Portland down toward Eugene and Medford and those areas into Northern California, seeing some heavier rainfall as we go through overnight tonight. The moisture will travel from north to south, so more of central California, especially the foothill regions there of central California, seeing the rainfall. Sierras, the central Sierra Mountains are going to see some snowfall as we go through the day there on Monday, and then that snowfall will just continue to ooze in from the west across Idaho, Nevada, getting into northern Utah, Montana, and Wyoming as we go through the day there on Monday, and really just continuing to move across the Rockies even into your Tuesday. So as far as rainfall is concerned, rainfall along coastal California there and coastal Oregon could be talking upwards to an inch, possibly an inch and a half of rainfall. A lot of the other precip out here is going to be in the form of snow. As you go up higher in elevation, the atmosphere naturally cools, so therefore you change those raindrops over to snowflakes, and we're definitely going to be piling it up across portions of the Sierras and in the Rockies as well. A lot of areas widespread here across the ski resorts and the watershed out west. 1 to 3 feet of snow, possibly 4 foot totals there in the central Sierras and parts of the Rockies there in northwest Wyoming, especially as we go through your Tuesday there on March 18th. Now let's look at our temperatures. A brief setback in our temperatures across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley today. That's as a powerful cold front that was associated with our strong storm system that we talked about at the beginning of the video that brought all the severe weather and tornadoes. That's bringing cooler air down with northwesterly winds today. These were your high temperatures, warmer on the warm sector across the East Coast. That's why we're seeing the severe weather today. Notice as we go into your work week, to start the work week anyway, on Monday, March 17th, tomorrow, we're going to see the 70-degree line go back up north into South Dakota and southern Minnesota, and we're going to go to work on our temperatures even as far south as Texas into the 80s and 90s as those winds turn around from the south and the west. And those warmer temperatures will continue into Tuesday, March 18th as well, before another strong cold front and potent storm system will knock our temperatures down on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Although by the end of the week, by Friday, the 21st, we start to rebound just a little bit there as well. Let's look at the winds, because the winds are going to be a big story with our next potent storm system. It's first across the Intermountain West. We're going to see the gusty winds here as we go into Monday morning, but as we go into the afternoon, breezy day from Chicago, the Windy City, all the way back through St. Louis, in towards Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and Wichita Falls, Lubbock, Texas. Those areas going to be pretty windy as we go into Monday. The winds will decouple. They'll weaken as we go into the evening hours there Monday and overnight. And then we start the day Tuesday a little breezy, a little bit windier there on Tuesday, a little bit heightened as well of a fire weather risk across New Mexico and West Texas. Ongoing drought concerns, dry soil, very strong winds, not really a great recipe here. So we actually are seeing an elevated, if not critical, fire weather concern there for New Mexico and West Texas there on Tuesday. Then as we go into Wednesday, gusty winds will continue to develop here further north and east toward the plains, Midwest, and the Mid-South. Some gusts over 40, 50 miles an hour will be possible. And then Thursday, all those stronger winds push east. So the eastern seaboard will get some breezy conditions by Thursday as we go to the end of the week. Now, we are going to be watching that next storm system. As we said, we're going to exit the rainfall off the East Coast tomorrow. We're entering another storm into the West Coast as we go in towards this evening and into your Monday morning. That energy will move downstream into the Rockies with some snow there on Tuesday. And notice those warmer temperatures Monday, Tuesday in the middle of the country will be enjoyable because we're going to have lots of sunshine out there. So make sure to get outdoors. If you have any cardio that you want to do, walking the dog, something like that, definitely some great times to do that Monday and Tuesday. And then going into the day on Wednesday, here comes our storm system right off the Rockies. Now, you see a couple things here. You see blue, that's snow, and you see the green, that's rain and some thunderstorms. On the cold side, yeah, from western Kansas up here in towards Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, South Dakota there, and into Minnesota. That's where we have the tight isobars, so we have strong winds and snowfall falling, so definitely seeing the potential for some wind-whipped snow there. On the warm side, areas like Des Moines, Chicago, St. Louis, all the way down toward Kansas City, watching out for some showers and or thunderstorms. We are keeping an eye on the threat for at least a low-end day for severe weather, both overnight Tuesday and into Wednesday across this region. But the highlight is really going to be a snowstorm that piles up some snow from the Hawkeye State of Iowa into portions there of southeast Minnesota and Wisconsin. And then that snow will traverse across the UP of Michigan and then exit out across southeastern Canada. And then again, we're watching more rain for the east later on in the week. So let's look at the severe weather threat first on Tuesday overnight on March 18th. Notice our dew points very low here in the Midwest into the 20s and 30s, but we're actually going to start to moisten the atmosphere by overnight on Tuesday and into Wednesday. Our dew points will rise into the 40s. While that's not conducive for severe weather, because typically for severe weather environments, you want a 50 or at least a 55 degree Fahrenheit dew point or higher. It's the level of moisture in the atmosphere, and we don't see that here on Tuesday. However, there's a boundary sitting here from Omaha up just north of Des Moines toward Waterloo and up there towards Rochester, Minnesota, and so elevated thunderstorms will be possible. These will be more heavy rain producers, but hail producers as well, because they're not surface-based, so we can't get tornadoes, we can't get damaging winds much, so we're going to look at a hail threat there overnight Tuesday across portions of Iowa there, and that's the area that the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted in a marginal risk for severe weather, mainly for hail across that region. And notice as we go into Tuesday, very dry, very quiet throughout the day, outside of any strong winds. And then here, boom, we got thunderstorms developing late Tuesday evening, more so after midnight. And those storms will be elevated near and north of the boundary there into central and northern Iowa, perhaps moving into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of northwest Illinois. Those could be hail producers, maybe some quarter-size hail. Wouldn't be shocked to see some gusty winds out of these storms, but we're not really talking about a big damaging wind or tornado threat, because again, these are elevated storms. They're not going to be surface rooted. Now, as we go into Wednesday, a little bit deeper of a moisture tug, kind of a tongue of moisture going up into eastern Illinois, the Hoosier state of Indiana, up into the Wolverine state of Michigan, and we're going to be seeing more of the upper 40s to mid 50 dew points creeping up into this region. So on Wednesday, we got a tongue of some instability, not very strong, but 500 to maybe 1,000 joules per kilogram, and that might even be pushing it for instability values. But you notice we're going to see a lot of rainfall with this system as we go through the week. So we're going to have rain with this system on the warm side, and then some snow on the cold side of this system over here, with potentially some 2 to 5, maybe even 6-inch totals, and I think a little bit of some lake effect snow up there as the system strengthens towards Lake Superior for the UP of Michigan. Could be seeing maybe double-digit totals, 10, 12 inches up in those areas. So don't put the snow boots away just yet and the snow shovels, because we're going to need them across even the upper Midwest as we go through the middle and end of the week. Now, by the end of the week, behind that storm, as that exits the East Coast by Friday, we're going to see another storm move across the Rockies. This one not as strong and a little bit more moisture starved. We have a little bit of snow across the Wyoming down into western Colorado with this, kicks out across the plains. Now again, it is moisture starved. The moisture return is questionable. We're really not looking at a threat for severe weather or much rainfall with that. And then as we go into the weekend ahead, we have the potential for a pretty strong storm down here in the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley. That could spread some more severe weather across those areas. Now we look at the setup on Sunday. This is March 23rd, a week from today, and things could still change, by the way. We're looking at dew points in the middle to even upper 50s, low to mid 60s near Texas coast, like Houston, over here toward Lake Charles and New Orleans over in Louisiana. That will yield some pretty strong instability, 2,000, 3,000 joules per kilogram. That's plenty of storm fuel out there to get some thunderstorms to develop and some severe weather. So here's Sunday morning. This is an early look. This is an instantaneous flash rate, just kind of showing you where thunderstorms are. Maybe more of the northern Gulf type storms here from Houston over there toward Lake Charles, New Orleans as we go into Sunday, and then more storms really developing right over the metro of the Dallas-Fort Worth area and east of I-35 over there towards Shreveport, Monroe, and then down toward Lake Charles Sunday evening. And then an MCS, a mesoscale convective system with a good Russia wind, right? We could be seeing 60, 70 mile per hour winds on the leading edge of that, some hail embedded in there, and maybe some isolated tornadoes, but it looks primarily like a wind threat as we go into your Sunday evening and overnight next weekend. So we'll keep you updated on that. So if you are here, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We're going to keep you updated again tomorrow with another couple of videos with the updates here on the storm systems moving through with snow, heavy rain, and severe weather, and update you on your temperatures as well. So subscribe to my channel for accurate and reliable weather information. We'll have another couple of videos tomorrow. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their weekend out there.